are we doing, everybody? Happy Friday. We have a special guest here today. I know there's probably over 40,000 followers for myself who try every single day to expose market corruption, market manipulation, laws that govern the people at the top and screw over the people at the bottom. As always, everything in this show is going to be financial opinions only. There is no financial advice in the show. There is no investment recommendations. We are going to talk about a story today and get a little more in depth and hopefully have enough time for some questions from any of the listeners. If you want to, please repost or share the show right now. I'm still under my super X shadow ban, so nobody's seeing any of my posts. That's probably why we only have 30 or 40 people in here instead of, 4 to 500 like we would normally right now. But we're gonna get into it right now. Zishan, can you hear me?
Okay. Well, thank you for having me on your show. Thank you.
Of course, when you reached out, and I'm sure you probably came across me just because of the market manipulation posts, and you started telling me your story. Uh, I mean, my eyes lit up, and then I just closed the app so that I couldn't read anymore because I wanted to learn the same way everyone else is going to learn about your story right now. You want to dig into it and tell us how you started this biotech company, Quantum, um, and then filed the $700 million lawsuit on market manipulation and spoofing and naked short selling. It happens every single day by the billions. And
Right.
so we're loving and excited to hear your story.
So so this was started in Canada as a basically medical cannabis company in 2018.
Okay.
And when we listed in May of 2018, the company's valuation did go above $1 billion because in that time Trudeau announced. And but then we saw glut coming, and then we kind of pivoted towards biotech because we had raised the money, and then cross listed on Nasdaq, um, and then surrendered our license and became a fully uh, specialty pharma biotech R&D company basically. So that's the story. We got heavily shorted when we were on the Canadian exchanges, and then when we got listed on Nasdaq, we feel the shorting. I didn't know at that time that we are being shorted. I didn't have an idea what was going on. Felt because the 90% of liquidity did get transferred on Nasdaq. We got shorted again. So no matter what we did, kind of the stock price never went up, right?
Sure. And no matter
So
how much buying pressure
no
you'd have
much.
or volume, it wouldn't go up, would
It
it?
wouldn't go up. We had an IND open for COVID in one of our compounds. That's when the volume goes up, and that's when the bankers come and offer you money. So they do intraday deals. I didn't know anything about it. I was not the CEO at that time. CEO was someone else, and he did that. But we started seeing this pattern, right? And then we started going. I started inquiring around, what can we do, who can we ask. That it's so hard to get any answers from anybody or collect data. As you know,
Oh, yeah.
it's impossible for so we started. Then someone suggested Share Intel. We employed their services, and we started sending the banks basically imbalances every month. And we tried to ask, why is there imbalances? We never got a straight answer, right? As you know.
Oh yeah.
They send you somewhere else. After months of sending letters, one of the guys I called, I have his email. He said, "What are you trying to ask?" So they keep on delaying. Can you believe that? So they keep on delaying. They have their methods. They're very sophisticated. So I was not even thinking. It was not in my consciousness that these banks could be doing it. So I was like,
Mhm.
someone may be abusing their system and we want to show them.
Boom.
So but then it started dawning, and then there were predatory algorithms on our stock. People would go and post stuff. So I don't think the banks are doing it, but the people in front using that DMAs and all those must be doing those things, right? Who has time to go and post 5 times a day on different sites like Bloomberg or Yahoo? I don't have time to do that for my company. But that's what was going on. So we started getting suspicious and we wanted the banks to have a look and actually stop this. So I did get, so at one point, some warrants got re-registered with CIBC, and these guys, I got in contact with these guys, and I told him, guys, this is happening through your system. Can you please do something about it? You know what happened? My stock got slammed even harder,
Oh yeah.
as if that was like a slap in your face. Why did you even dare to ask us? And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like there is a direct collusion between these players and these banks, because why would this happen? I have a letter that I sent to banks. I said, listen, I don't want to do anything. I will stop sending you emails. I will stop CCing regulators and others on my emails. Please have this stop. That's when they slammed it even harder, Kevin. And that's when we decided, actually, after that was March of 2023. That's when we decided that we know now that these guys are not really contented in making hundreds of millions by shorting us. They actually won't stop till we die or get bankrupt.
Yep.
So there was no option. Okay, I've got no option. We started collecting data, and we went through our due diligence very rigorous. It's very hard, as you know. We have to collect data from um, exchanges and specialty data providers, and it's very expensive. Not everybody can do it. And then we had to employ these world experts to analyze that and to tell us whether they see manipulation, specifically in the form of spoofing. And believe it or not, I didn't even know what spoofing was. Um, but they were looking for that. Um, we are lucky in the sense that they did find a lot of compelling data,
Perfect.
and it was enough for me to convince the law firms to take this case on contingency. Because how can a company like mine fight with the banks if we don't get someone on contingency? And let me tell you the criteria for contingency. So they won't take it on contingency unless the damage model is over minimum $100 million or 75 million. And you know how lawyers are. They'll take it if it's very compelling, because they know if they put 10 lawyers, the banks will put 100 lawyers. So
Exactly.
that's kind of the background. We then, if you don't know, on 10th October of 2024, we filed a complaint in the Southern District of New York. And New York, because Southern District of New York has precedence in spoofing cases. That's where most of the judgments have been given out, and judges are getting sick and tired of really seeing what these perpetrators are doing. We didn't file in Canada because, first of all, 90% of the trading takes place in states, and more
Hmm.
than majority of my shareholders are US shareholders. So we had to file there. and that's where the precedence takes place. But we got as expected on 31st January, the last day in the last hour, we got a reply for the motion to dismiss, by the way. So that's where we are uh,
Jeez.
with our case.
Unbelievable. Um, I mean, you said so many points that are just every day now. Fighting the banks and the brokerages, like your your savings account for lawyers versus their 5 billion for lawyers. It's
Exactly.
just like, and their speaking fees and their under the table deals with Congress, judges, Supreme Courts, Senate leaders, presidencies, possibly. Um, Zishan, did you see in May when Trump called out Citadel and naked short selling on his own stock?
Yes, yes, I saw that. I saw by the way, your podcast with Patrick Byrne, and
Oh
that's
yeah,
what really got me interested in contacting you. I've been following these things now. I was very unaware till I got involved, but now I'm following a lot of people. I think this administration is great for our case. This is a
yeah.
great things are going on. I am very impressed with what President Trump and the administration is doing, and I see very good things coming out of it. These
I
guys seems
agree.
to be scared. What happened in our stock now three times, Kevin? The first was 9th August. This is pre-split. We had a 60 million share total outstanding and 1.4 billion shares traded that day. Then on 4th February, as you know, we had a
Wait. You had 16 million shares in the float and
60 million, out of which
a 60.
maybe 40 million. So this is pre-split. We had to
Yes,
split it
correct.
because they were shorting the shit out of it and we would have been delisted.
Yeah.
So
You're
we
not
were
the first
forced
one, I
into
promise you. That's why they call reverse splits the kiss of death, because the odds are that that company goes to zero, but 99% of people don't know why that had to happen and
the
the corruption behind
shareholders
it.
were very unhappy. What can we do? I mean, that's why I'm involving the shareholders now. If you go to our website, you'll see I've started putting shareholder interviews, kind of like what MMTLP has been doing, right?
Mhm. Yep.
That would start getting attraction from the concerned people, even maybe from the politicians. But I'm doing all that. Now the fight is on. We did have and this is also interesting maybe for you, and I would like to invite you to join. We had a conversation with similar companies that are in our situation, like Northwest Bio, and one other company is going to
Mhm.
file in the next couple of months. I cannot give you the name right now. So we did form a website called Stop Stock Manipulation, and we are to so that we can exchange resources and information and help each other. We These guys work, I think, hand in hand with each other, Kevin. That's what I think. So we need a united front also against them, people in our situation. So
Yeah.
we want to create a website not owned by anyone. It should be owned by everyone involved, and that forms a united front. Exchange resources, direct people, give them insights to what we've been through and what to avoid and how to deal with who, and give them consultants.
Mhm.
For those purposes, we are forming that website.
I like it. I really like it. Especially you going after other companies and recognizing them that this has happened to. That's only going to grow the awareness and people into this cause. I mean, there's 100 now after GameStop's manipulation, 100 different petitions and things that are out there to where if it's, one company and all the people at the top just turn up their nose at it because of whatever they read on CNBC or Bloomberg. Like the congressional hearing of the GameStop stock, there's like 75% of the people didn't even know what the hell happened, and
Oh yeah,
or what naked shorting was, or any of the rules. And when they hear like, "Oh, my stock was manipulated," then they just say, "Oh, let me guess, you're down, so you're saying that." But if there's, 20, 50, 100 companies with CEOs on a organization against it, I think that would be massive. They're not gonna be able to ignore that. I think 100 companies would be more powerful than 100,000 GameStop investors sending in letters to the SEC.
definitely. Plus, we can pool resources, we can share information, what has been happening in our case, what to avoid, where are they going to attack. We need a united front because they have a united system, we believe,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um,
It's interconnected too. They just, pun intended, but swap, uh shares that are naked between each other, failures to deliver. They'll deliver to each other before a timeline comes up to where they're gonna owe shares and they want to be on the hook for it. They can do that before the CAT system recognizes things. They can also just not report, and the CAT system for the SEC can just not give out data, which is like it's all insane that this is going on, and there's so many uh, people that I've brought into this entire realm of the market corruption that they like literally speechless, saying, "How is this allowed to happen?" And I'm like,
uh,
every day with
to,
billions.
to this day, I cannot understand it, Kevin. I mean, I had 2 million shares issued and outstanding, 2.3, and then probably a million of them or so are in the float, and 80 million shares traded in on 4th February. Okay, like $10 million float and $500 million of stock traded. I still don't
I'm looking at
understand what
that.
happened.
I'm looking at
4th
that day right now.
4th
So
February, then
almost
6th
80
February,
times the float.
40
Or
times the
yeah.
float. Yeah, 80
Well,
times the
yeah,
float.
yeah, the real float. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So subtracting the insiders, institutions, and ownership, isn't that insane? That's not possible, right?
I
Statistically,
don't
without
understand.
computers and market makers,
The
that's
if you see trades I've posted, I think I sent you that a 4 million share trade. How can it be possible? There are several for 750, several for 600,000, several. It,
mhm.
it is like even a child seeing that will see something is wrong with what's happening. I'd still, by the way, since then, so the price went to $15. Since then, I think we've been shorted back to where we are. But an interesting thing, banks have been calling me, offering me up to $10 million. What does that tell you?
Just take those loans and just funnel them straight into more lawyer fees and growth of against the bank that's loaning it to you, or
No, no, they're not loaning me. They want a pipe deal, so someone is short, right? This is what I'm thinking.
you talking earlier.
I'm talking
Oh, go
about
ahead.
these bankers, they're calling me saying, "You want money?" And I'm saying, "Okay, maybe without warrants," and they're agreeing to it. So, is someone really badly short on my deal? Is my question.
Oh,
And
they're
that's why,
offering you money for shares?
yes, sir. So, is someone very short?
Oh,
Because they have shorted the
oh,
shit out of it since 4th
I
February and
got a
6th February.
boner. Um, okay, so I can feel the adrenaline running to my ears right now. And we might have to, let me think for a couple seconds. This might have to be a private talk.
Okay.
Um, Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. And when you say banks, do you mean
I
brokerages
it's
or
those.
banks?
I don't want to. These are your bankers who are operating your ATMs when you want and getting you deals. And register you. They take down your shelves, and the. I don't want to name anyone, Kevin, but the same players. You can guess.
Okay, so but are they banks, like just cash banks, or are they investment brokerages who also have
Investment
bank
banks,
charters?
investment. So they are not,
Got it.
and not one. I've been contacted by 15 since that.
Since February 4th, when you traded 80 times the actual float, you've been contacted multiple times by brokerages.
Multiple,
So
multiple times. Multiple
so like for multiple
times.
oh man, with everyone in this call, this is not financial advice as we stated when we're trying to
Yes,
get the show
yes.
going. This is uh data and opinions on what's been happening. I'm looking at the $8 million market cap of your company after they naked shorted you, saying this could possibly, in my opinion, be another explosion higher. And I I can't believe that they're calling you, asking you for loans on shares. And did they
Not loans,
specify?
financings, straight financing
Or
without.
sorry, they are wanting to buy shares from you.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I'm not promoting my company here, but do you
Oh,
think this
sure.
company is not badly short? I've got more money in the bank. We've got an asset which has potential to cure whatever. Then we've launched this alcohol detoxification product called Unbuzz, which, if you take all that stuff, I'll eat my shirt if it's not worth 75 or 100 million, right? But I've been shorted and I have no way of convincing anyone, even with the cash in the bank. Um, and this still goes on. What is the way around it, Kevin? Guide.
Yeah, you heard me ask Patrick Byrne the same question, right? How do we fix this problem without blowing up the market? And he got quiet and he said, I don't know. And I said, that's the only thing. And I've, since I've been 3 years old, a problem solver by nature. Like so it's just, it eats me up. Like, but I do not think there is a way to solve how big this has gotten in the market maker exception, naked short selling. For anyone that has no idea what we're talking about right now, there's people that can sell stocks that they don't have.
Yeah, so
Like,
I heard that podcast and it was very interesting, and I did take action. Patrick Byrne was saying to go into systems where they convert it into a blockchain share, right? So we
mhm.
have joined Upstream, if you've heard about it, the merge exchange, and the trick I think that Patrick Byrne was talking about was to convert your current shareholders into holding those shares instead of these ones,
Yes.
right? And
With a bonus on there. I think he said something along the lines for like every 4 shares you bring over to the blockchain one, you end up with 5 or a percent or something like that. So realistically, it's like an instant 1-day gain. If you're already a holder, and you get a 20% gain in a day, that's 2 years of average stock market return just for converting, because you get another free share on the blockchain. Yes, you dilute the company by 20%, but every one of those shares that comes in that gets to be canceled, that's gonna start showing up on your SEC reports that your float, I'm showing right here 1.86 million. Does that sound correct for the
Uh,
shares out there?
It should be something in that range. I'm not sure, but I know there are 2.3 or 2.4 million total issued and outstanding.
Okay, okay. So let's just for round numbers, we'll just go with there's 2 million shares outstanding. You're gonna go up to 2.5 on this conversion, but you're not gonna be able to be naked shorted
Yeah, but
on those.
the
So the
issue is
last ones to get
liquidity.
in or move. What was that?
The issue is the liquidity on those exchanges, right? That's, I think, where the hesitation from the shareholders might come to shift to those exchanges.
Well, any do you have who's your transfer agent?
So it's a transfer agent called Merrily. It's Canadian based. We did have computer share, but we shifted from there. But they can easily transfer the shares from any exchange to that exchange. I've spoken to them.
So you okay, that's perfect. Do you and you obviously have the ledger, right, of the shareholders.
Yes.
Is it an 80/20 rule with your shareholders? Is 80% of your stock held in 20% of the holders? I'm it's got to be, right?
Not really. So the insiders hold about 20% or so. We had,
Okay.
you'll be surprised, before the split and all, we had at one point 156,000 shareholders in this
Oh
company.
shit.
So we have a very large shareholder base. So it's not the 80/20 rule, honestly.
Okay.
Right.
So do you know I meant on the amount of shares held. So the if you put do you know how many shareholders you have now? If you had just round number 50,000?
I think 26,000 or something. It's a-
26,000. Okay, would you say that the top 5,000 shareholders probably hold 80% of the
Yes,
shares?
yes, yes.
Yeah, so that's the 80/20 rule. Sorry, I
Okay.
was going for was that you would only realistically have to yeah, you'll start at the top of the list, and your largest shareholders are most likely intelligent enough to know that they get an extra share for every 4 off that example we're just going for, to where that is the least no-brainer ever for them to do, right?
Right. Right. Got it. Got it. I'm getting the concept.
Move 80% of the fl you move 80% of the float off of just those 20, and you're gonna be getting calls for $5 million of wanting more shares and $10 million of wanting more shares.
Okay.
And I would, if it were my exact situation in there, be starting at the very top. You probably are you the largest shareholder?
I have about 6%. I believe I'm the 4 to 6%. I'm the largest shareholder.
You could probably make a difference just on that. We've seen, Michael Burry, right?
Uh, Not really.
Have you ever seen The Big Short?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yes,
So
Michael Burry.
yeah,
Okay, I
yeah,
thought.
yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So Michael Burry in 2020 tried recalling 1 million shares of GameStop, and it took weeks and weeks and weeks for them to find just 1 million of them, and that was way less than 10% of the float. Uh, and like even at you being the first one to test out the system, uh, get a feel for it and know exactly how that process went for you to make it smoother for the number 2 and then the number 3 and then the number 4.
Right,
And
right,
then if it were me, I would be disclose like writing a uh I don't even know what file form that is for the SEC. I guarantee your lawyers do. But on the current share count changing, 'cause I'm pretty sure you have to do that. And it's just going to show like 5 days in a row of dropping this much. And the naked shorters are going to shit themselves.
I think I'll have to call you back on that and
Yeah.
get a more clearer idea. It sounds amazing, the whole thing.
Yeah, we will have a private call uh on that one. I am extremely interested in teaming up with you, the MMTLP community. That's one of the, you've dug into that, right, Zushan?
Yes, yes. I've spoken to George Palikras and we've decided, and Linda Powers, and we've decided to come up with a website where we can all, with similar situations, unite and form a united front against these people. And we're doing so. It's called Stock Manipulation. If you put it right now.com, it's in primitive form, but you can access it right now.
I'm on it right now. Stockstopmanipulation.com.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, definitely need to d- build your website for you. That's my fee. That's my fee for our next phone call. I want my website to look this cool. Just
This was
going through
a
too. That's pretty cool.
very basic guy, by the way, who built that.
Well,
So
that's what everyone says, but
you
you should see mine. And then everyone that's
know,
intelligent in web design and everything looks at my website and just goes like, "What did a 4-year-old make this?" I'm like, dude, it's not my specialty. All right, I built it myself.
right.
But this is insane. This is a good springboard into a lot more.
We will
Um,
gladly add your name to it, Kevin, if you want.
oh,
If
absolutely.
we will be
That's,
honored to.
I mean, uh, I've been against stock manipulation since the entire thing with GameStop happened. And it really screwed up my life because as a second generation financial advisor, my father was an advisor his or my entire life. Like he was knocking on doors for clients when I was born or mom went into labor. Like my whole entire life has been like I need to teach people like how you can grow wealth and all this. And then boom, January 2021 hits and the next 4 months of data research and things that have come out and loopholes is like, oh, it's all literally just fake.
Oh
It's
yeah.
whatever they want it to be. This company succeeds, this company fails. We'll just short it every single day until there's 10 billion shares out there. Doesn't matter because once the company gets low enough in price or market cap, they can't get a loan. And uh, called seller boxing on a lot of the retail companies that allegedly Bezos orchestrated one after another, after another, after another from a book company into a worldwide dominator.
Wow, Bezos.
Yeah, yeah, hedge fund manager or a hedge fund guy before starting Amazon.
I
And
see.
imagine the products you can get from J.C. Penney or Macy's or Gottschalks or Radio Shack or these companies when they go bankrupt. Imagine the products you can get to put on your own website when most websites at that time are still only doing like a couple of products and you get to expand this fast and you're buying those for 5 cents on the dollar and selling them for 80 cents on the dollar.
Wow, I didn't know that, honestly.
Look up seller boxing.
Right. Okay.
Um, yeah, and it's just this naked shorting, and it's definitely hit retail the hardest as far as seller boxing goes, naked shorting, I can't say that. It's my opinion that the powers at be up top chooses who succeeds and who fails in biotech and FDA approvals and all that every single day.
I
Like,
think you're
they
right.
choose
My
who.
opinion is the same now, honestly. I didn't think that way before, but the more I uncover, my inclination is what you're saying, honestly.
Yeah, they choose who succeeds and who fails, even in retail. I remember, God, what company was I investing my clients in? Uh, oh, Square. Um, and because their numbers just keep coming out quarter after quarter, like ridiculous growth, right? This is probably 2015 to 2020. I'm gonna pull up the chart right now. Um, where's that? Uh, I don't even. Oh, oh, Square just changed their ticker.
Uh, God knows, I have no clue.
They absolutely did. So Square owns. Wait, who else does Square have? God, now I'm blanking. Uh, I can't remember, but apparently everyone in Square is now XYZ. Good ticker. I like it. I don't know what the hell it means, but Square is no longer SQ. It's XYZ. But they were flat with just monstrous growth for probably 2 years, where every quarter it's just like 50% revenue growth and stock just like, I'm gonna make up a number, $20 just.
Okay.
I'm going to guess that the powers that be up top for, do you think Wells Fargo and JP Morgan and Citibank want digital payments to start getting popular? No.
Yeah, no way. I
PayPal,
don't think so.
yep. And so it just got wrecked on these massive trades. And I'm like, how do you put up these numbers? I'm sure every single person in this call has seen a company blow earnings reports out of the water with a smaller company, like where they're expecting 50 million in revenue and they did like 250 million in revenue and the stock goes down 25% the next day. That is legitimately because of the market makers and where their options fall on the other side to make everyone lose money on those.
Exactly. Yep. Agreed.
Zeeshan, is your chief of finance in here, the one we were supposed to add to speak? Can you see him?
I think he's listening, and I wanted him to come because he's very articulate and understands what's going on much better than I do. Uh,
I mean, you understand pretty good. If
I'm just
and you're
learning.
also learning
His name is
about.
Jason, but he told me that he could only listen anonymously for some reason. So I don't know how we can get him. I
Does
wanted him.
does he
Jason, are
have?
you there?
He won't be able to hear until or he won't be able to speak until I add him. Um, uh,
I don't even know what listener he is, but
he has to follow me, and
oh, he has to follow you.
does he have like a brand new account?
I just sent him the link.
See if
But we
he.
can always do this again in a couple of weeks.
Oh, we're
That's
gonna.
when I would like to update you on the status of the case, um,
Yeah,
and our reply and what we're doing.
yeah.
Um,
In the meantime, we'll absolutely be in contact trying to put that team together with trying to get as many CEOs as possible. You or like
Awesome.
you said, you already have that list together with the stop stock manipulation.com and everything, and we will get a list of these people together and find others that are out there. I can scan like nobody've ever seen for other companies to where we can get in contact with them as far as finding out who this happened to as well. Um, have I didn't see a Jason in here.
He's
Jason.
anonymous, so I think it's anyways. It's gotten late. Why don't we schedule some? I'll contact you. We'll schedule something. Elaine, Jason. I think he's very interesting. To hear him out. Like I said, he understands the overall impact that's been happening and understands these markets much better than I do. Um, why don't we schedule something later?
Absolutely. Yeah,
This,
we'll get him to actually start uh creating a profile on X so he's not
yeah,
like an anonymous person. Zishan, you care if I bring up anyone if they have a question about what happened with you, I
please.
guess, or anything? If anyone has a question right now, just hit the request button as a speaker. This has been an awesome space. I'm so excited for these ideas already on combining multiple CEOs into uh, a team of the market manipulation. Like I said, I think 20 CEOs, 100 CEOs is so much more
Imagine that's
incredible.
power. We can
Yeah.
then lobby, we can do so many things. That's where the
Yeah.
power will come
That
from.
doesn't even need money. It's like if you just show a list of 10 CEOs or or like that group requests a meeting, it it's not like 100, like I said, like 100,000 people that are retail traders or retail just investors where everyone at the top just turns up their nose to, like, these people are stupid. Even the SEC said, "Hey, don't invest in meme stocks, retail traders." Um,
Exactly.
but we get this list of CEOs, like, it can't be ignored with that by their side, or and if they do ignore it, the publicity will end up bringing to it is going to be massive. It'll get most likely Trump's attention after he already got pissed at Citadel and market manipulators for everything that happened with DJT, and hopefully we can actually get something going with it. That is my absolute goal. Like, this needs to be
You
changed, and I do believe, Zishan, I mean, I'm always usually an optimist person, and since January 2021, it sucks. I've had to be a protector of assets instead of a grower of them and an optimist person, but I do think and hope that SEC all the way up to POTUS has been trying to figure out as well how to fix this without breaking the world because
exactly
it is a national security. Like, our
agreed.
stock market is so large now. Oh God, I was just looking at the GDPs compared to our stock market versus the rest of them, and it's just absurd. Like, that ours is like this for no reason, and compared to like the things we're producing, and if it cracks or falls or the US dollar isn't trusted anymore, like, game over. It's like 95% down markets. It
Yeah,
would make the Great Depression look like vacations. And so I feel like GameStop was kind of that last straw and enough attention for everyone to start looking into it, and they're like, holy shit, like how big it was. The $400 trillion that the brokerages have in derivatives, that's 10 times bigger than the stock market.
It's crazy.
How it's like it's always gonna be like hindsight, but like everything blows up and they're gonna be like, how did it get this bad? Because everyone allowed it that makes the laws and the regulations.
Yep.
It's absurd.
It's the numbers are unreal. When I got involved and the numbers started coming out, it was beyond my dreams. I couldn't believe things that came out. But now with people like you educating us, and it's I think the rest of the public is getting educated too now.
Yes.
It's great. And
It's the best thing I think that could have ever happened out of that corruption in January 2021. Not just GameStop, AMC investors, BlackBerry, Trivago, MMTLP. I think MMTLP's got at least 40,000. And
oh
that
yeah,
story,
I just got cut out. Okay.
can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay. That story is so much different from the others. It's absurd. The fact, the FINRA fact on their decision is like FINRA doesn't have that authority. And I mean, the MMTLP thing's absolutely nuts. First time I heard it, I was like, is this real life? It's like they're just tired of hearing from people. So like, oh, your stock's canceled, but we're gonna keep trading it.
Well, this has been great, Kevin. I really think you are the one who should be handling that site I created. You should be the founding father, one of the founding fathers, because you do this all day long and you have this passion. It's amazing
If if
to get
you
to
can
know
provide
people
the
like yourself.
security for me, I'm down. I'll let everyone know, like I do in most of my spaces, that I will never commit suicide, like every other whistleblower out there. That would never happen. I love my life, and I'm in a dangerous area, and I'm a financial professional. How many there's not even advisors have no idea what the hell is happening. They don't
E-
even like they're like 75 years old with khakis on and loafers watching CNBC, and they've only heard that these companies or GameStop is like their revenue's bad. And if anyone else ever dug into numbers, would see that it has a higher price to cash to debt ratio than any S&P 500 company right now. They are more strapped for recession than any of the 500 companies. And
Wow.
yeah, nobody in the finance industry will do it probably because they're they like their jobs and they don't want these ungoverned uh I don't even know how to FINRA's his own thing. If you guys want to dig into the deepest rabbit hole ever, look into FINRA that regulates all the small brokers, and their entire board is made up of the CEOs and directors of the largest brokerages,
Wow. What's that?
and they get to make the rules, but nobody governs them.
So
It's like the
Fox
Federal
is
Reserve,
looking.
and so if they close someone down with a giant fee, like they'll charge Robinhood 50,000 on $8 billion of illegal trades, and they'll charge a brokerage 250,000, or a RIA, registered investment advisor like myself, 250,000 because you filed paperwork wrong just to bankrupt you because your clients aren't gonna know what to do, and then what are they gonna do? Probably walk down the street to the closest giant brokerage there is, and they'll collect the assets off of it.
Exactly. Well,
Zushan, it was an absolute pleasure. we will hopefully my shadow ban will be gone for our next call update on what happens over the next couple of weeks. In your case, you and I will have a couple of phone calls as well in that time,
Awesome.
and go over some ideas I have for you. But it was an absolute pleasure
Uh,
having you on. That story's
Pleasure is
crazy.
all mine, and I'm very grateful for you to take the time out and listen to our story and get it out there. And
I
very, very grateful.
I
Thank you
I
so much.
I appreciate it. I sincerely do. I'm sorry it happened to your company. Right above where you can see our faces speaking right now, I posted your chart over the last
Yeah, I
couple
saw
couple
that.
of weeks, and it's what I called the naked short in 45. It's just strategically almost the same exact volume in the exact angle back to wherever the market maker's next 2 years of options are in
Got it.
Nasdaq. And
That's
but
that's
I can't wait to have our private talk on the brokerages calling you, because
awesome.
you're
Okay.
gonna probably end up being in the documentary.
I don't know if that's a good thing. James West Christian, the lawyer that we've hired, told me that one of his clients got a death threat. He told me to be careful, so I don't know how careful I can be. Um,
Well,
but
Patrick
we
Burns
are.
not even on this side of the world anymore after he quote found the way to ruin the market makers and the naked short selling.
Yeah,
What
he's
he developed with T0, board pushed him out with whatever possible threats, death threats, or bribes those people got. All of a sudden, he's launched from his company and moves across the world and doesn't tell anyone where he is because he
yeah,
found like the nail in the coffin for him. That's my best
exactly.
guess. Yep.
Yep, yep. These are very powerful people. So we all, like you rightly said, have to be. I also love my life. I'll never commit suicide. So just
Oh yeah.
copy
Everyone
your.
hear that? Yeah. Exactly. Uh, Man. All right, brother.
Okay.
We appreciate you being here. Looking forward to some more talks. That was an awesome call we had. I'm really sorry for what happened to everything you built for no reason for you. I mean, I would get, and it would make sense to me, the 50% drop. You IPO'd at the perfect time in the cannabis IPO market, because I had clients call me all the time, like, "It's gonna get legalized." I was like, because of my duty of like, until it's federal, I just can't, you can't do this. But everything after that 50% falling, like you switching over Canadian NASDAQ and having the assets on the balance sheet and then just getting obliterated day after day after day for another 5 years was not part of that year's cycle and hype in the cannabis bio, but everything after that was nothing to do with you or the company. So I'm really sorry what happened to everything you built, but I love that you're here right now and you're ready to fight.
Kevin, we will fight. We are. It's a miracle that we've been surviving after getting beat up by these bullies every day. Okay, so
Yep.
I believe in the cause. Our products can save life, and I think that's why we are still here. We'll fight. We'll see how it comes along, but we're here, and we need guys like yourself and others to join with us, and then that's what will really work, I think, in the future.
We'll do it. We'll have our next conversation in private, and we'll start putting together a team.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
Great. Thank you so much. And
Appreciate
thank you, everybody else, for listening.
appreciate you. Yeah, thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
on, Sean.
Take care, everybody. Bye
Have a
bye.
great weekend.
You too. Bye.